Good morning, everybody. You might know Dylan Clark's most popular short horror film, Portrait of God, but he's got a long series of great horror short films on YouTube. And the other day on stream, we went through the entire catalogue. There's some pretty fantastic films here, so make sure you check them out at the link in the description. In the meantime, though, I hope you enjoy my reaction to them. So yeah, this is Dylan Clark's very first short horror film, Threshold. So we'll see how he develops over the years as he makes his films.
Did you hear that?
Is that loud enough? Is that loud enough for you guys? I think it's just quiet on purpose. Ugh. Can you imagine being Can you imagine being the guy like, yeah, we need somebody who has really gross feet. Can you like come on? I guess if you're an actor, at some point you'd just be like, okay, you just have to like lean into like your flaws, right? Because there's always movies that are like, we need someone who's like really gross for this role. Can you come be our gross guy, please? Ken Christopher used to play a Terminator every day, really early in the morning, so Americans would have Aussie. Oh, really? Gigantic. That was a big door gap, wasn't it? Some places have that, so bugs can just crawl through. Would you open that? Would you open that door? If there's like, if you're like in your room and somebody knocks on the door and they have weird feet that you don't recognize, because like you would know, right? You would know if your family member had feet like that. Would you open the door? I wouldn't. I would go get like a baseball bat or something. Oh, I would after I went and got a baseball bat. But I imagine a chick would be like, no, I'm locking the door. I'm putting a chair against it. I'm putting like furniture against the door so you can't get in, and I'm calling the cops and I'm not coming out. Like that's it's just it, right? I'm not going out there. Wait, okay, I got to pause again. I think this is just this be the standard horror movie thing, right? If as soon as your characters start doing smart things, you don't have a horror movie. So, hey killers, how you doing? Curiosity would get the better. That's true, yeah.
Stay here.
Stay here? What?
Close the door.
Let's split up, gang. What the fuck?
Elena. Open the door. It's me.
Oh, what the hell?
Let me in. Elena.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, god damn it. Oh, I got hit by the jump scare. I knew it was coming and it still got me. uh, that was great though. That was great. Nice, simple. Wasn't anything to write home about plot wise, but some of these can be really creative. That was nice and simple. I think it's fine for a first one, right? You know, when you're making the first one, you're just like, I just want to make a movie. At some point, you're just like, I want to make a movie. Like, it's not the very first video game or YouTube video you make. You're not going to make something that's super groundbreaking for your very first one. You just need to actually get in there and knuckle down and make something, right? And I think this is pretty solid for a first movie. Nice scare. Nice directing. It was good. I think about how you're approaching reaction content, and I don't think it feels like typical reaction stuff. It feels like a mini film study. That's a good point. I think it's, yeah. I guess since I'm so into like, I try to, since I really try and push my editing as hard as I can and try and make, I try to make a better video than my last video every single time, and I try and really push myself. And I do try and look carefully at what makes a good video, like visually and pacing and that sort of stuff. So I guess I end up watching other people's content from the same mindset. And you know, I guess when you describe it like that, it sounds like, well, doesn't everybody on YouTube do that? And it's actually like, no, they don't. A lot of people, the way people deliver what they want to deliver through videos is completely different. Like, you know, a lot of documentary people, you could describe it as an info dump. When you look at someone like, I guess Wendigoon is probably the best, like, in quotation mark, info dump YouTuber, where his videos are literally just him talking to you for, you know, an hour or 2 hours, right? And there's basically zero editing. Like, it's very, very little editing in there. And this is him staring at the camera. Editing boils down to cutting out bad takes and sometimes putting an image on screen, right? And despite that, he still makes very compelling content. He makes great content. So there's different ways to actually, you know, deliver the information, deliver the feelings that you want to deliver through the video. It's completely different, right? And you know, like a good example is like, you know, this short film we just watched here. Like, if you were just to describe this in text, right? Girls hear a spooky noise, they walk out there, one of them dies, and then the creature uses her voice to trick the other one. And you can summarize it in 5 seconds, and it's zero emotional impact. But it's technically the same thing, right? So there's a million different ways to deliver an experience, right? Pretty Little Thing is the next one. Is that the same face? Can you guys see that? Is that the same face? We'll have to go back and look. We'll keep Threshold open. Where was the face here? It was like here. Oh, that still got me! Oh, it still got me! I got got by the jump scare, even though I was literally looking for it and I knew where it was. Oh, okay. Okay, we're watching Pretty Little Thing. I have a feeling I don't know what the horror is like in the rest of them. I hope they're not all jump scares. Because I feel you can do a lot more than just a jump scare. I suspect that this one is definitely going to be a jump scare. Probably a few jump scares for a while. But because these later ones are just straight up, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? Ozzy, go back to bed. Okay, let's watch Pretty Little. Sorry, not Pretty Little Thing. The Pretty Thing. Okay, let's watch. Is this the same actress? Girls in bed genre of horror is my favorite horror. Festival Film Awards ward off jump scares. Hopefully. Spam hearts. How you doing, famous? Oh, this is fucked. I hate this already. This is so fucked. Oh, I have to turn this down. I'm gonna have a heart attack. Oh, no. Oh, I actually hate this already. Oh man. I don't like jump scares. I don't like jump scares. I actually really hate jump scares. Is she trying to like snap to turn off the light? Is that like a... Oh, is she... Is she snapping to like... to her friend? Oh, that's fucked. That's so fucked. Her eyes dilated? I don't know. Oh no. Oh man, I hate this. I actually hate this.
Tessa.
Yeah, I think it is the lighting because her eyes have changed. Like the pupil sizes have changed a lot actually. Because after you mentioned it, I was looking.
Tess.
uh, okay, that one was kind of goofy. That was kind of goofy. That one wasn't as good as the first one, I think. The mask doesn't look very good when you see it like this. It looked way creepier. Where was it? Here? Yeah, it looks super creepy when you... I mean, that's the same as all the monsters, isn't it? It looks way creepy when you can't actually see it properly. At least it wasn't... you can see him like trying not to just rely on a jump scare here. Which is good. Because it wasn't really a jump scare. I guess the closest was like... It was like that. But definitely not as much as the first one, right? I do appreciate him trying different things, but it didn't quite land. I mean, you know, not all experiments work, right? Oh, yeah, here we go. That's what I love. No jump scares, no cheap horror tactics or styling. Just good old fashioned silence. Unsettling and eerie scares. I love it. Yeah. I don't think it landed. You know, jump scares are like a bit of a crutch in horror because it's easy to get startled when something goes boo, right? And it's a lot harder to do something that is just slow and terrifying. Analog horror is actually a bit of an easy way to do that scare. Like you could do something really similar here, right? And make it dark, right? Hang on, let's just go back a couple frames. Don't show the girl, right? The only changes you had to make, right? Make it way darker. Don't really show what's happening here. Maybe give him like a dark costume. And don't have it turn and look so you don't actually see its face. And then if you hold on that for like 5 minutes, that would be analog horror. That's the exact same thing there. But so it would only take some minor changes to actually make it scarier, because what analog horror does is it builds up the tension really well. Then it doesn't release the tension. Like, releasing the tension in analog horror is very rare. And that way it makes it way scarier, because you never have that release. And like, if you imagine it was just standing on this and like it's pitch black and you can sort of kind of see him holding her. Maybe he's like doing the head motion on her. So, and like you hear that cracking noise. So you sort of can figure out what's happening, and then it just holds on him, and then it just shows her face, and she's just like, but yeah, just honestly, just leave it at that, right? And don't zoom in, just leave it on that, and it will be a lot scarier. And that's sort of why analog horror is such a good genre, because it sort of has that baked in. It has that for free. I give bad rubber masks a pass since I've seen extremely ugly. Look, a bad rubber mask is always going to be better than bad CGI. I 100% agree, right? So it can always get worse. But you know, we love to see filmmakers experiment a lot. So okay, 11:05. Let's try this. This one is a completely different genre. It's not girls in bed horror anymore. The Boys. Okay, this is interesting. Very different so far. What the hell? Masayuki. Yeah, we watched that on stream week before last. Man in the Suit was great. I really like this presentation so far. Very, very unique. Not a word of dialogue yet, and you know... That was great. That was great. Did they kill it? I don't think they killed it. Oh, no. They're building up to kill it. Priest Lantern strats, yeah, exactly. Need a zombie apocalypse. Oh yeah, it could be, couldn't it? kill it election day. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this big black abyss behind them. I hate that. I do love the use of color though, how he's got a black shirt and he's standing in the black and there's like the black picture framed and then it's all like really bright here and that's where the lights actually are. Really nice use of lighting in this shot and I think they knew exactly what they were doing. I think they definitely knew what they were doing. It's really cool having like I like it when they do like clear sort of stuff like this. A show that they do it a lot in is Breaking Bad, especially the later seasons. Like it gets to the point where they do it too much. I remember the scene that I remember seeing it the most clearly in was, if you recall, when Walter was having dinner with Gus, and they were sort of framed by two big windows, and like it was very clear that there was like a big line. There's physically a big line between them to represent their divide. Okay, let's watch. Let's watch these guys get absolutely owned by whatever this monster is. They're opening the door? Don't look away, don't look away, don't look away. I'm gonna get jump scared. I don't want to get jump scared. It's fucked. Oh, that's what the shoes meant. They already lost somebody. That was so cool. That was great. Oh wow. That was amazing. I love that one. Yes, wow. Jeez, what do you even say about that? Is that the same monster? It might be a similar mask. Hang on, let's have a look if it's a similar mask. This pretty little thing. I keep saying pretty little thing. It's not. Here it is here. I think it might be the same mask. I think I like so far about the short moves and sounds. Yeah, there's a big emphasis on sound. Like this one, I don't think it had any dialogue whatsoever. The only text was like where they write on the calendar and they say, you know, we kill it. And that was it. Yeah, I think it is the same mask. Yeah. Used much more effectively in this one, that's for sure. Yeah, I think this is great because, you know, there's sort of like two big divides in horror, right? There's horror that focuses on the monster, and then there's horror that focuses on how the people react to the monster. And good horror knows which one it is. I guess you can balance it. You can balance it out, but I think it's best when they sort of focus on one. Like the focus on this one isn't the monster. The monster is just this guy rocks up at this time. You don't know anything about it. You don't know what it is. Everybody else seems to be dead, and it seems to be just these two guys left. And you know, the movie isn't about what this monster is. It's about how these boys deal with this situation, and you know what would happen if you lost your because I think they're described as brothers, right? Oh no, just two boys. You don't even know if they're brothers or not. Yeah, like what would you do if you lost what you think is the last person in the world, and you've already lost others? Because you can see it towards the end here, how he picks up his shoes, and it's just his shoes, right? But at the start, we see, you know, they pick up their shoes, but there's one set of shoes here. Someone's already dead. They've already lost somebody. Makes it clear at the end here, like, you know, he's the last one. He doesn't know anybody else. So yeah, like what would you do in that situation where there's an unkillable monster coming for you and you've lost everybody and there's no hope? Like you probably wouldn't leave the door locked. You know, it would, you know, at the end of everything. Like, what do you do? So, oh yeah, of course, horror doesn't always have to have a monster. I was speaking specifically about monster horror, right? You know how like they seem almost happy at times here when they're sort of helping each other, like learning and just being lads, happily chatting to each other, playing cards, and I love that switch is just great. When it's just him, and he's playing cards by himself, and it's not the same, is it? Is him playing the piano in the dark the present him? And who was the hand that guided them to the right keys? So that confused me for a minute as well, but oh maybe. Let's rewatch a little bit. I think you're right. Him playing the piano in the dark is him in the future. Yeah, waiting for 11:05. Yeah, you're right there. And it's him oh, that's sweet. It's him remembering his times with his mate. Hey, Ludwig Jr., how you doing? I think the hand is the spirit of his friend because he stops. Because I think it was his mate teaching him how to play early on. I think that's what he's remembering. Because it's been implied they've been there for a very long time, right? Yeah, okay. That adds an extra layer, doesn't it? It's him remembering his friend. That's really sad. And then after he does the music change? It does a bit, doesn't it? This one's great. This one's something special. I think that so at this point, Dylan Clark's, his ideas are catching up to his skill level, but I think his ideas are a bit better than his skill level at the moment, because it still feels a little, or maybe it's less his skill level and more like the amount of money he can actually spend in it, because it still feels like it could be a little bit more polished. Homemade horror, I think it's a level above that. I think probably his first two were like, let's make something, we're film students, let's make something in our literally just in our house, right? But it feels like now it's getting serious. It feels like maybe he even had a little funding for this. Because he's got a full, like, he's got his own piano score. These two actors are two new actors. It feels a lot more polished, but I still feel like there's a long way to go. If you understand what I mean. Not that I'm saying it's bad. It's obviously not bad. I think this is brilliant. This is definitely my favorite so far. But especially compared to like what you see a bit later on, like you can we'll get to it, right? But it still feels like a student filmmaker. But yeah, I really like this one. I really liked it. So let's watch Seagrass next. This one's a bit shorter. And that was really long too, compared to the previous ones. The other ones were like, 2 minutes, 4 minutes. This one's 7 minutes, almost twice as long. Almost 8 minutes actually. So his movies do get a bit longer as it goes, but it seems to cap out at remains, the latest one, which is like a month ago, is like 11 minutes. That's the longest one. But other than that, it seems like they were all like 6-7 minutes. Okay, so watching Seagrass, not a short one. Let's make it bigger. Something I wanted to point out is that usually, so full horror movies usually have some sort of transgression that the characters commit. And so there's sort of like it's in quotation marks, a justification for them dying. But it's an extreme punishment to the crime they committed, right? So like you think back to like maybe they trespass onto some property. Maybe I think it was like I Know What You Did Last Summer was like where they hit a guy with the car and they think they kill him. Or maybe they're bullies or whatever, right? There's some justification as to why they're getting killed. But even when they're, and like, even stuff like Friday the 13th, Jason is getting revenge on, he thinks he's killing the camp kids that killed him. He's mistaken, but he's doing what he thinks is right. Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's getting revenge on the people who killed him by killing their kids. That sort of stuff. There is a crime that's been committed, and this is the punishment for it. In this short horror, and it's really interesting because you often don't have time to set that up. So there is no crime that's been committed. They've done nothing, as far as we know, there's nothing wrong. Cabin in the Woods was different, but that was intentionally different on a lot of different fronts. Cabin in the Woods was a really interesting one. So in this short horror, there's no time to set up a crime. Like in all these ones we've watched so far, like they've done nothing wrong that we know of. They're just, a monster just appears and then you just die. So it feels, regular horror is a bit of a morality movie. And Saw is actually a great example of that. Saw, like, basically makes that an integral part of the plot. It's like, you did something bad and now you are getting punished for it. The punishment doesn't fit the crime, but you can see the causal link, right? And And in these ones, it's like, what did the boys do wrong? We don't know. What did the girls in the first two movies do? We don't know. And this one, she's actively doing something good. She's cleaning up a beach, and something horrible is going to happen to her. And I just wanted to point that out because I thought that was really interesting. She's actively doing something good here. Like, is she going to be punished for doing something good? And it's really interesting. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, that's so creepy. If I saw that, I'd be fucking out. I'm sorry, I'm gone. Talked about being warned with a harbinger of the gap. That's true. Yeah, they didn't listen to the warning. Hey, Lapsus, how you doing? Don't do that. Okay, that's her crime. There you go. She stole the ring. Uh-oh. She stole the ring. You're sick? That's no good. Hope you feel better soon. Oh, jeez. Short little funny one. Short little funny one. Random piece of hair, start running. If I saw blood and like bloody clothes and then hair in the ground, I'm calling the cops. I'm done. Sponsored by Coke. Long story short, if you do something wrong and you long horror, you did something wrong and you're gonna be punished. Short horror, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. That generally seems to be what it is. Yeah. Behind the frame. Another long one. Let's go. I'm lawful neutral. Pictures of her friend. Has her friend passed away or something? She seems pretty sad. Tear them all? They're all burned. What the hell? That's so cool. That's a cool shot. Spooky jewelry. Don't wear the jewelry. So going back to my point earlier about how they commit a crime so that it's justified for them for whatever horrible acts to occur to them, right? I wonder if So I wonder if that includes so making mistakes. So she's like taking something that she shouldn't hear, right? It's something supernatural. Don't take it. You're going to get owned because you've taken it, right? That's nice and simple. But like in the very first one where they're in the room and the thing is outside, and then she goes outside to look for it, is that the transgression that is now permitted her to die? I think it is. So because we think of like it's an obviously dumb thing to do, right? Don't do that. Stay in your room, barricade the door, call the cops, right? And you would think of that even when you're in that moment, but these characters make bad decisions. So I wonder if it's an objectively bad decision that even they should know in the moment is a transgression because of like pride. I wonder if that's what's going on there. What do you guys think? Sometimes monsters don't need a reason to harm people. Sometimes they harm people because it's funny. You can call it fun. World mythologies are full of monsters like that. Yes, but most of them have rules about them. So, like, when you think of like European fairies, they'll mess with you, but only if you don't do certain things. Like, if you do certain things, then they'll just leave you alone. Like, don't walk into their fairy circles. Don't do deals with them. And in a lot of mythology, there's rules to deal with these creatures. So, I guess Art the Clown is definitely. I'm trying to remember specifically what happened at the start of the first Terrifier movie. Yeah, I think he is a bit of a random act of violence, isn't he? Yeah, and like not literally every movie like follows these rules, right? I'm just talking about like general strokes, what we see in all of them. The characters seem to make one defining mistake at the start that kicks everything off, and it's something that they should know better. They have actively made a choice to do this thing. There is an offer given to them, you know, by chance or by a supernatural. So this one, it's a supernatural offer, right? This supernatural thing has given her this box. And the obvious choice here is to not touch it and probably to leave it outside or to call a priest or something like that. But in some movies, it's like, you know, it's, you know, they've run over a hobo. The right thing to do is to call the police and call an ambulance, right? Not leave them on the side of the road to die. Monsters that hurt for the sake of hurting is much scarier than having a reason. It is, and you've got Michael Myers is a bit like that, but there is still a little bit of setup because the whole first movie is about Michael. One way to read it is Michael being a kind of punishment for being overly sexual. So the first person he kills is his sister, and I think she's naked when he kills her, or like in her underwear. And then the people he starts killing are all like sexually promiscuous. And the last one is the babysitter who isn't. And I think she like just survives. The later movies, you know, like the message gets twisted in later movies. It always happens, right? But you know, the rule being broken there is, you know, don't be sexually promiscuous, and Michael is a punishment for that. So sometimes it's not the actual creature itself giving the choice here, but the creature is the punishment. Or the monster, the bad guy is the punishment, right? No, 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 no. Don't do that. No. Why the fuck would you do that? Oh, that's so creepy. Don't do that. Oh, it's over. It's genuinely over, for fuck's sake. Oh, no. This picture thing is really cool, though. This picture where you put the pictures up and then something appears there. That's pretty sick. I see you painting. Yeah, that's a nightmare. That's an actual nightmare. Oh, for fuck's sake, don't do that. It's a cookery. Is that a cookery? No. It's a I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's a I'll never remember. Why would don't you do that. Oh, for fuck's sake. No, don't. Oh, you're kidding me.
Hello?
It's over. You know what? At this point, you know what you should do? Is you should get that big knife. You should use that photo and get that knife. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Finally, a good decision. The janitor's here to make a build cubes. Horrors are just framing her for murder? Oh. No, no. 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 It's over. Oh, please no jump scare, please no jump scare. I hate this. I hate it. I hate jump scares. Fuck's sake, that's terrifying. It's the same face. Tear them all. Tear it. Tear it. What's that last picture? What's that last picture? Oh. Oh, that was what she saw in the... Oh. Oh, okay, that was great. That was great. That was great. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I love that concept. That concept was great. Yeah, F in chat for woman. Was that her name? The girl. F in chat for the girl. That's a really cool concept. That's a really cool concept. How you doing, Papa Magpie? I feel like... So only some of these pictures sort of played into what was happening. So this one did, you know, the thing in the closet. I feel like some of them were like just random, like random spooky stuff. Right, like the body and the machete, right? Just random spooky stuff. And it's cool, but it could tie in better. right? It could play together. Like I thought you were right where Seaborn, where it said that it's framing her for murder. That would be a really interesting idea. But then it just sort of didn't. And then the creatures behind her, oh, spooky. And I like the ending, but I feel like the pictures could have been more consistent, like all together, right? Um, so I feel like the delivery didn't pan out as well as that an initial concept. Like I thought it was cool, but it just a bit of. I feel like there was a little bit of padding, is what I'm trying to say, and I don't know if that's intentional. But I feel like this could have been like 4 minutes and gotten the idea across with just paintings that are like just pictures that are tied together, right? If that makes sense. I feel like if it was padding, they would have padded it out to 8 minutes to get ads, right? So I don't think it was intentional padding. Um, but yeah, it's a cool concept, but the delivery just falls a bit flat to me. Just a bit. Still really good though. My favorite still is definitely 1105. 1105 is definitely the best one so far. This one has the coolest concept, I think. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's watch the next one. I think she's gonna be okay. Should use the paintings to sell merch. Yeah. Just keep spamming. Just keep spamming it, and you get that creepy painting. It'd be cool. Yeah. Okay, next one. Home movies. Okay, let's see how spooky this one is. This one doesn't have as many views, so it's probably not going to be as spooky. Views on YouTube aren't like a perfect metric for how good a video is, but they're pretty good. They're definitely ballpark figures, right? So I do suspect that Portrait of God will be the best one. Hang on, what quality is this? Have I been watching all these at 480p quality? What am I doing? Oh, goodness gracious. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm watching all these at awful quality. Thought she was going to tear. That's what I suspected too. I thought she was going to tear herself. But then it turns out I like that little, because that was a little bit of a twist. You think, oh, she's going to tear herself. Then, oh no, she didn't heed the warning. The warning was tear the pictures, and she didn't do it, and that's the punishment. So.
Hannah, tell mommy what you're eating. How much food you eat?
I'm eating chicken nuggets and some stinky
Hannah?
yogurt.
What'd you eat other than chicken nuggets?
I said yogurt. No, not yogurt.
Blah, blah, blah.
The rounds and the first.
Here comes Nala. Nala? Did you Hannah too?
Go through. Yeah, we're watching in release order. Yeah. We're seeing how Dylan Clark's style has developed over time.
Nala. Should we go find Hannah?
Yeah, I was thinking Sinister. Sinister was so good.
Do you think she's hiding in the closet? Let's go find her.
What the hell?
Having fun at the fireplace. Having fun at the fireplace.
That's so good. Oh, fuck that.
Oh, show one to the camera
Fuck
hand.
that.
Let's see.
Nah,
Like I flipped?
I'm out.
Flip on the hand. Oh, look at this treasure trove.
That was so good. That was such a good scene. What the fuck? Oh, every round her, she's back. Oh, fuck that. Fuck that. No, 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 no. Fuck. Just go, just go.
Hannah, where are you going?
This way.
Like a hostess.
That's what you learned in class? Where are you going?
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Solid snakes after her. Reminds me a little of those old meme images with face detection in the pitch black. Oh, it kind of does, doesn't it? That was pretty cool. Didn't like the ending. How would you do the ending? How would you do the ending, guys? Instead of being spooked up into the air, spooked to death. Like I don't think that's very spooky. I think you would just end it where. Okay, so here's what I would do. You see how it goes? Like, Hannah, where are you going?
Where are you going?
And then she runs off through the house. What I would have old Hannah do is follow that same path because she thinks, oh, maybe it's, the tape leading me out. But then she gets locked into that weird basement that she sees at the start. It was like around here. This is a great shot though. How she's looking grumpy there. And like she goes in here, right? She thinks, oh, maybe something. Oh, there's a woman there. I didn't see that. There's the spooky woman there. But she goes in there, right? And then I don't know. The tape ends. That's sort of the only ending I can come up with is the tape ends. I'll probably do something like that rather than this. Something simpler, I think. Something simpler than spooked to death. And with the girl stuck in the TV and the ghost woman possessing her body or something. You know what? You know what would be a simple ending is, it does the Blair Witch ending, right? Where she goes like, ah, and she drops the tape, and then you see from the tape's perspective as the ghostly woman walks away, right? Nice and simple. I would do that. Better than a jump scare of the creature screaming at the cat. That's true. It is much better than a spooky jump scare, right? So, I feel like a Graham with the camera. I feel like maybe should have had continues the film. Yeah, I feel like it should have done a bit more with that. There is only so much you can do in like a short horror film, right? So it is hard to suggest like what an ending would be because it just has to be, you have to wrap it up, right? You can't be like 20-minute long. So it is sort of hard to say, isn't it? I think just ripping the Blair Witch ending would have been a better option, in my opinion. Cool. Again, a really cool concept. The delivery just falls a little flat right at the end. It is. I think the delivery is better than the last one. Behind the frame, I think the delivery is a bit better because it's all tied in together. But yes, it's just a little flat. Just a little flat at the end there. But you can definitely see from his original ones, the movies are getting way better. Way better. Now, Transfigure is his first. Well, no, Behind the Frame blew up. Well, Pretty Thing blew up too. I think he's consistently had. Well, maybe not consistently, but he's had a few ones blow up. But Transfigure is 2.2 million, pretty big. So this should be a good one. Let's see what this one's like. Transfigure. Oh, she's editing it. She edited a mole off. Okay, I like this. I like this already. This is gonna be good. Yeah, Photoshop but IRL. That was a great effect. Hang on, that was just like pulling a shirt tighter, wasn't it? Wow, that's so simple, but it's perfect, isn't it? That's great. Such a great physical effect. That's awesome. What's she doing there? Giving her a nice blush on her cheeks. That's funny. Be careful, babe. Oh. Oh. Oh, what the hell? Oh, that's so good. Oh, fuck me. little jump scare now and then is fine. A little one. Oh, that was good. That was good. I like that one. Little horror, little funny. It was good. Yeah, good little one. Good concept. Yeah, I really like that one. This was terrifying. She didn't renew Adobe sub. This is what happens. That was good. That was good. I like that. That was a good scene. Good, clever little idea. I like it. Now, the thing I'm wondering about is, what is this? Avengers Endgame? Oh, it's a ticket. She went to see Endgame and then she put it in a mirror. That's right. Girls do that. Okay, never mind. Girls love Marvel movies. I feel like there is only so much you could do with that concept, any more than a short... Like, some of these concepts you could see being, like, expanded out. This one, I think, nailed it. Didn't go for a second longer than it needed to. And you wouldn't push it any further than that because it's such a nice, simple idea. You could see some dumb Hollywood exec trying to turn this into like a big, 2-hour-long movie, and it just wouldn't work. But yeah, no, that was good. That was good. I liked it. Something goes wrong when a girl attempts to alter her appearance. Yeah, you're not wrong. Not necessary monster, no cheap jump scares, original concept. Exactly, yeah. Nice, clever little concept. The most realistic response was just to leave the house. Yeah, exactly. But it was too late there, right? Yeah, good effects too. His effects are getting better, and her acting is good too. Has she been in all of them? Was she in the very first one? Her name is what's her name again? Hannah Clark. Hannah Clark. Was she in the first one? Creature, costume, and mask by Hannah Clark. Okay. So that's her, right? Hannah Clark is the girl, yeah. So she was involved in these movies pretty early on. So is that like his wife or his sister or something? I don't know, actually. Oh, she is. She's the other girl. Yeah.
Close the door.
Yeah, that's her there. There you go. I don't know. I don't know how old Dylan Clark and stuff is. So yeah, I don't know. Sister wife? Yeah. No. They don't really look alike, so it's hard to say. I don't even know what Dylan Clark looks like, to be honest. There's a lot of people called Dylan Clark. I tried to like look him up on Twitter and stuff, but there's a lot of people called Dylan Clark, so I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, they've been working together for a while, and her acting's pretty good. So okay, so Hollow and Hatched. Here we go. Oh, it's this fellow again. No more Hannah, I guess. I wonder if Hannah's going to come back. I like Hannah. Make a big screen. Have a nice day. Smiley face. Thank you, I will. AirPods. That's the real horror here. You're doing Black Souls? I'm never doing Black Souls. Pretty sure it's illegal in Australia to even play it, so I'm not gonna download it or anything. So if you want Black Souls, go check out Frapolo. He plays it a lot. So drink my ginger ale, Hannah. eggs are kind of funny. Oh, what the hell? Oh, what the? Oh, what the hell? Yeah, buddy, that's my reaction. Gross. The transgression of this one is that she will disobey the bag and have a bad day. Exactly, exactly. Oh, what the fuck? Hit him with a classic meathead prank. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, buddy? You know what? We're not having eggs for tea tonight. Sorry. God, no, no. No, no, no. What the? Where do you get eggs like this from? What the hell? Oh, this is the house from the cinematography thing, isn't it? Oh, he's got baby steps. Oh. Aldi? Yeah. Okay. Gear up, boys. Let's go. Ostrich egg. Yeah, it's an Omega Mart egg, of course. That's fucked. You know someone's in your house now, dude. Leave. Please leave. Right now. Right now. Leave. 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 No. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. That was okay. That was okay. That was okay. Was that like something right at the last frame? What was that? There was. Hang on. No, no, stop. That's a woman on the beach in the last frame. That's funny. It was good little one. Not very spooky. Not very spooky. I feel like he did this one to test out his CGI skills, and it was okay. It's a better use of CGI to have it like in the background and not in your face, and even you know, big horror movies still fail at that. So he's, you know, no, it was okay. Definitely not the strongest one, I think. So, what's the next one? Arrest. We stand creepy shadows with buckhorns here, don't we? So we're gonna love this one. Should be a good one. He's like, hi, how you doing? But they do be like, whoa, it's okay. So true, so true. Okay, how would we make this one scarier, guys? How would we make? Let's theory craft making this one scarier. Okay, so we have to keep the premise generally the same. You know, guy gets the eggs. There's a CGI monster. Multiple creatures end up coming out. How would you make this scarier? Would it just be making it darker? Would that help? Because I think this final shot is the reason it's just not spooky. Because I don't think this final shot is scary enough. I think it fails here. Because it's okay up till this point. Like, I don't think his acting's bad. I generally like it up to like I like this part here. Double yolked egg? No way, bros. It's a double oak egg. It should have been darker. The design is not that spooky. No monster, just gore coming out the eggs. Well, let's keep the monster. Let's say we have to have a monster. It has to be a giant humanoid monster. I think that design is okay. It could have been spookier. I don't know how you'd fix it though. I'm not a very good monster designer. Why did Egg Boy immediately go to the shower? I think multiple is a good reveal. Not sure how I'd change it. Yeah, why did it go in there? I would have that room dark. I think this needs to be a lot darker in general. I think that would help. This was okay. I didn't mind this. I think it didn't need the growling. The growling is a bit much. But horror things love that sort of growl, doesn't it? I didn't mind him stepping on the egg. I thought that was a good way to say there's more, and that way he realizes the trouble that he's in. I really think it is just this last shot. Reveal less of the monster. Yes, I do think that this last thing sort of, the whole thing doesn't feel that spooky, and I don't know why. Maybe it's too close to him. I think that might be it. The whole thing is just too close to him. Like, it's just too up in his face. There's very few shots where it's like his full body. And so there's not enough room to make him feel small. Like, every shot is like, you know, very, very tight on him, isn't it? It doesn't suit him. I think a few more shots where it's like him waiting at the door, holding the knife and like scared to go in, and it's sort of dark in there, and like the camera is as far back as it can possibly go. I think that would make it way scarier. Like, more shots like that. I think there's like one shot like that. Maybe? Like, that's the thing. Also, he can, like, guys, it's, they prefer girls in horror movies because girls are less likely to be able to fight a monster. So that's why I was like, it's not as weird for him to go on and check it out first rather than a girl just, you know, a girl, get the fuck out. Just go. Don't even risk it, right? But, you know, average guy, have a peek. Like, it's hard to get a sense of scale until the very end. And even then, it's like, it's still really tight on them. And it's like, there's no sense of scale. They just come across as kind of small, is the thing. So, tradie horror win. Looks like a guy hits here at the Butterlow. Yeah, give me a horror movie where there's a bogan as the main character. I think that'd be great. Yeah, I think that might be it, where it's just too... Is that the only scene where you see, like, all his body? Yeah, just at the start here. Yeah, that might be it. That might be it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a director. I'm just throwing suggestions out there. It can be small and scary, like the thing in the sink from PT. That's true. But that's a bit different. PT's very different from, like, a horror movie because it's you know, point of view. Whereas this isn't. You're still, like, looking at this character doing things, but you're right up in his face the entire time. and it feels like it's not really a threat. Is I think is the issue there. It doesn't feel like there's a threat. I'm very keen to watch this one. I do love the. Okay, I do love the shadows with the horns. Perfect look. It's always Kino. So let's get straight into it. Men's rest stop horror. Okay, you laugh, but there is a analog horror series that has that as part of the premise. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think it was either Wendigoon or might have been Nightmind actually. Nightmind that covered it. So the premise of that series was that I think it's the Hypnagogic Archive. I think it is what it is, where it's a website with a bunch of short stories on it, and one of the short stories is about a men's restroom. So yes, that actually exists. Anyway. Oh, new actor.
Things seemed normal at first. It was a nice day. The sun was out, it was quiet.
Is it loud enough for you guys?
But I realized I had no idea how I got there, standing in the driveway. And I didn't think that clouds were supposed to move that fast. Things were off. And I could feel something with me.
That's a great shot. I love that shot.
I couldn't feel the water on my face. I didn't feel that either. I must have been dreaming. I was definitely dreaming.
I love it when shows do that.
If it was a dream, then I was in control. But I wasn't going to take any chances.
Thank you. Let's go.
I just needed to find a way to wake up.
That's creepy as.
He isn't real. This is my dream. I'm in control.
That's so good.
I could feel everything. I had to get out. How do you wake up from a dream? If you die in a dream, you wake up. Maybe that's my way out. Something quick, painless. I had to be certain it would kill me because who knows what he would do. The pain was real. And I wasn't going to wait for him to do anything worse. I didn't know exactly where I was going or how I'd do it. I could find a road, walk into traffic, jump from someplace high. I could...
Yeah, cinematography is way better than it was before. It's got color grading now. It feels a lot nicer.
If this was a dream I was having, why couldn't I control it? Or maybe I could. But what if I wasn't dreaming? I didn't wake up. It should have killed me. Death wasn't a way out. It was how I got here. This wasn't a dream. It was hell.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, the production value is going insane on this one. Yeah, that was production value was just ridiculous in this one. Great costume, great like color grading, great film cinematography. Yeah, it's a step up from his, well, you can see he's getting better here, but there's definitely a big leap between Hatched and Rest, that's for sure. There's a big leap there. Just enough without being gratuitous. Yeah, I don't think I didn't really feel the horror very much there. I mean, I know it's supposed to be like a bit of a slow burn horror, the one that you think about for a while later. But, I don't know, I don't think the plot of this one landed. Acting was good, you know. No, I haven't had any complaints with any of the acting in any of these, to be honest. I really struggle to pick between good acting and bad acting anyway, to be honest. So even if these actors were terrible, I could probably not tell the difference unless they were like super bad. But yeah, I really liked it. Really cool shots. There was lots of really cool shots. You know, when you've got a figure like this, you've got to really use them really well, and they did. See, there's certain kinds of figures that you can just show in the middle of the screen and they're still scary. Like this. Like there's certain kinds of monsters that you just can't do this with, right? And it just wouldn't be scary. Like the monster from Hatched, could you? Maybe you could. You know what? You can get away with shots like this because I think the issue is like it's the isolation and the fact that you are alone and then you see a creature just standing in the middle there. That means it's like it has control of the situation, right? Like it knows it can just get you no matter what you do, and that's actually pretty scary. It's like you can't run away from this thing, right? It's going to get you. So if you did see like one of these creatures there, like a grey alien standing in the middle of the road just staring at you, that would be terrifying. So you know what? Yeah, actually, yeah. You have to do it right, but you can definitely just have the creature just standing there. He's just standing there, menacingly. So I really like the creature in this one. How it can make you do things, I guess. It can like hurt you. I think that's a cool concept, how it can hurt you. When you can't feel pain. Look at the I don't know if you guys can see that. But the house number is 666. That's funny. House number 666, a little bit of a clue about what's happening. Yeah, I think the story just fell a bit flat in this one. I loved how the trees change color. I thought that was a really cool effect. Nice and subtle. It was pretty subtle, all of the stuff.
But what if I wasn't dreaming?
It was really nice. Great shot. Just great shot. Definitely leveled up with his cinematography and just framing and stuff like that in this one. That's for sure. Was it just him that directed this one? Let me see. Written, shot, and directed by Dylan Clark and Brett Morrow. Okay, who is Brett Morrow? Has he shown up before? Brett Morrow as the boy. Oh, okay. So, written, shot, and directed by this fellow too. That's not a very good shot of him. This fellow. Yeah, that's not a good shot either. This fellow. Okay, so he helped write, shoot, and direct it. That's interesting. And act in it too. I Was in Hell was too in your face. Should have been more subtle. I honestly don't think it would have made much of a difference. I don't know if a minor change could fix this one. Yeah, I don't know, actually. I think the point might be more to be, like, pretty rather than to be super scary. I think that might be the point.
But what if I wasn't dreaming?
Everything looks better without the glowing eyes. You reckon? I wonder. You might be right there. You might be right there. Or maybe red eyes. Maybe. Yeah, the design isn't quite as strong as it could be, is it? Looks like a... He does look like a Jawa, doesn't he? Yeah, now you mention it. Yeah. Yeah, the eyes do seem a little off. Good, solid, really solid. He's definitely getting a lot better in general. But yeah, definitely not. I still think that 105 is probably the best. It's got the spooks. It's got the touching story. It's got the great music, the music driving it. So I think I like this one the best. Conceptually, I think Behind the Frame had that cool concept. Such a cool concept. And Home Movies was good too. See that I'm getting out. How you doing, Pain Spawner? The visuals in this have been the best they have been so far. Just hands down, the visuals are just straight at the best. Like I think that's pretty undeniable out of the ones we've seen so far. Reminds me of 2 hours 32. Oh, a little bit, yeah. 2 hours 32 was a spooky one, wasn't it? You know, making these set at night is an easy way to make them scarier, and I can't help but feel that this would actually be a lot scarier if it was set at night. And I don't like. I like the idea of a horror set during the day when nobody can help you no matter what anyway. But just for that raw feeling of spookiness, it's hard to beat nighttime, isn't it? You know, imagine him running through the woods when it's pitch black, you know. That would be 10 times spookier. And you would make no other changes but just make that set at night, and it would be like way spookier. Yeah, the tree visuals are great. Yeah, just brilliant visuals. I did like this design, even if I could like nitpick it, right? And I do think that changing the eyes is, for me, it's a nitpick. Because I do like the design, even with the eyes. So, but that's what we're here to do, isn't it, guys? Nitpick, because it's funny.
I didn't think the clouds are supposed to move that fast.
Yeah. Anyway, still pretty good. Pretty good. The next one is, okay, so Portrait of God is the big one. This is the one that everybody's like, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch Portrait of God. You have to watch it, guys. Okay, so we're watching it. No man shall see me and live. Okay, that was sick. That was amazing. Wow. What the hell? I couldn't even look away from that. Like, like I'm trying to like react and say things, but I couldn't. I was stun locked by that. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. I was worried at this point that it's gonna have like his face is right in the screen. I'm like, I was worried they've ruined it, and they didn't, and it was perfect. It was perfect. Can this be improved? Let's say what we like about it first. Acting on point. Love the concept. The concept is perfect. Amazing concept. Amazing cinematography. Like the framing is just perfect. Like, of course, this shot at the end, perfect. Like, perfect shot. Like, oh man. The slow, like, yeah. This scene, this whole segment where she's in the dark here, and the super slow reveal. Just the achingly slow. And how this hand reaches up and like turns her head. It's not its hand. I thought, I guess. So if I have to nitpick, I do think that the face stretching down isn't that spooky. A lot of horror does that, and it's just not spooky. It just looks goofy. I think it just works in this one because it's so dark and so out of focus. If it was like right in the screen, it would have absolutely fallen flat, just absolutely. But because it's so dark, I do like the lights. It's very there's very dead lights from It. Pennywise has dead lights that you see when you look into its mouth, I think, or its eyes or something like that. So it's very obviously inspired by that. But that's great. The 3D design was a little bit weaker than the painting. The painting was perfect. The 3D design, it didn't translate quite as well as it could have. Very classic early Stephen King. It is, isn't it? Great shots though. Just perfect shots, perfect colors. A great setup too that explains what's happening without it being like oh, just like super dumb explanation. It's like she's doing a project on it. So, she's practicing her speech. Great setup. Teasing the creature before it even shows up. That was great. If I had to nitpick, I would say that these voice actors are too voice actory. They kind of don't sound like real people describing something. I think you could drop it down just a notch, and it would be a little better. But that's a nitpick. That was definitely a nitpick.
I don't like looking at it. I don't like it.
It's beautiful.
This guy in particular, that guy, I think he's a good voice actor, but it's just too much, just a little too much. Too much emotion, which is it isn't like it's better than them being really bad voice actors, that's for sure. That's for sure. And but it's definitely nitpick. So chewing the scenery. That that's what that word means, isn't it? It's like just a touch overacting. Just drop it down like one notch, and I think it would have been perfect. But I think trick people into believing it was God. I think that seems to be the implication, isn't it? That this thing like tricks you. They're emotional. They think they're meeting the Almighty. Yeah, you know what? If they, that you're right. You are right, aren't you? If they think they're meeting with God, capital G God, you would be pretty emotional, wouldn't you? I think this is good. She's basically asking the creature to appear to her. Is what she's doing here. It's really interesting. Why can they see him? That's great. Well, let's face when he meets capital G God, he's a bit emotional. That was so good. How she flips back through it and then it's on there and she doesn't see it. That was perfect. That was perfect. That was so good. That was so good. This slow fade in. Perfect. She seems frustrated that all these people get to meet God and she doesn't see anything in particular. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely what she's doing. And she's like, why can't I meet God in this painting? And then the entity is like, okay, you want to meet me? You can meet me. Exactly. Be careful what you wish for. This would have been brilliant on like a big screen because this is like at film festivals and stuff, wasn't it? This is great. I can see why everybody raves about this one. It's great. This is the fucking creature from this is the fucking, the pretty thing. It is. It's the pretty thing. He did it again. Look. It's the pretty thing. Same thing they reuse props. No, this is all a 3D model apparently. Because he says in the credits. Where did he say it? It was around here somewhere. Written, directed, and edited. Oh, she did the editing too. Sydney Brumfield. Original score. The music was good too. Really nice and subtle. Makeup. I don't know what any of these words mean, to be honest. But whatever. They did a good job. So. Yeah. So, Figure in the Dark painting, VFX artist, and colorist was Dylan Clark. So. I'm assuming that was a 3D model then. I guess it could be just, no, because it does a face stretch thing, so it's definitely a 3D model of some kind, I reckon. No major complaints, only nitpicks for this one, that's for sure. Great, just great. The best one so far, easy. Hands down, easy. I mean, what do you even say at this point? Brilliant. Nice use of Uncanny Valley. Yeah. Similar to when you look in the mirror when it's dark and your own shape kind of morph. Yeah, that's true. What was the when did Rest come out? When was that released? What was the time difference here, I wonder? October 2nd, 2021, and Portrait of God came out in August 2022. So about 6 months. No, longer. Almost a year, actually. Almost a year, isn't it? What kind of horror movies have concepts like this instead of generic plots? There is a big issue in Hollywood where, so there's no shortage of good directors, no shortage of good actors, no shortage of good sound guys, all the other stuff except writers. Where are the good writers? And nobody can figure out why good writers aren't getting any jobs. Because there's obviously not a shortage of good writers. There can't be, because everybody else is, there's plenty of good ones, right? Where are the good writers? And I think that's, you figure out the answer to that and you'll figure out why the movies don't have good plots, right? Yeah, that was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Could you imagine Hollywood getting their hands on this though? Getting their hands on this concept? It'd be dog shit. This could only exist in an indie filmmaker. It could only exist something like this. I don't even know how you would expand this out to like an hour-long thing anyway. So, but even if you I guess, well, you've got like, I say that, right? But then you've got Skinamarink, which was, basically a much simpler story, a much darker story than this too. And they somehow let that get released in theaters. And I'm saying that in a positive way. Like, that's insane. Like, who would in what world would somebody release Skinamarink in cinema? Like, it's insane. But they did it, and people really liked it because people want that more interesting stuff. But by all conventional logic, Skinamarink is just batshit crazy. Like a movie where nothing happens for 90% of it, and the things that are happen are children getting tortured. Like, who signs off on this? And Skinamarink isn't my favorite movie, and I've not been quiet about it not being my favorite movie. But I love that something like that gets picked up and it gets given a chance. Like, it, by all rights, it shouldn't happen, but I'm very glad it did. Very glad. So Hollywood wouldn't dare getting out of their comfort zone. Would just make a generic jump scare. They would. Best we can do is girl in white dress and then she screams. Some concepts better off for shorts. Absolutely. I don't know how you would turn this into a full movie. You probably could. I don't really think much about movies, so I don't know if I could really come up with a way to do that. But you probably could. It would probably. It feels like it would take a lot of the sting out of it, though, wouldn't it? Because it is a perfect short. Like, I think this is a close to perfect. Short horror film. I think it's pretty close to perfect. And I wouldn't want to mess with that. I would rather leave it as is and then, maybe take some elements from it and make it something different, but I wouldn't want this as a full-length movie. So, FNAF movie didn't even have jump scares. That's true. You know what? You can. I think if you have somebody who really cares about the source material and you have a studio that gives them a little wiggle room, you can do something. You would be able to turn this into a full-length movie, but you would need the studio just to fuck off. You need a director to be able to tell the studio to fuck off, honestly. Because otherwise the studio would just ruin it in a heartbeat. And in a single heartbeat, that would ruin this movie. If this, like, assuming, I don't know, who knows what, if he's, it wouldn't shock me if Dylan Clark has had some offers. Because I believe the Skinamarink guy had much fewer views than this, and obviously he was able to make a movie. So I wouldn't be surprised if he had offers to turn some of his films into movies. But who knows, right? If he wants to, if he has. But yeah, you would need a either permissive studio or a director with a lot of balls to be able to tell the studio to fuck off. So. The Witch was perfect. I remember really enjoying The Witch, but I haven't seen it in a while, and I don't remember big chunks of it, so I don't want to say it's my favorite, because I just don't remember a lot of it, unfortunately. But I definitely want to go back and rewatch it, because I remember really liking it. Glad you like Blair Witch. I have best memories of watching that with a friend, but that's the only friend of mine who loves it. Friends hate Blair Witch. I do like a lot of horror. Like, I love Halloween. The first Halloween, I think, is a nearly perfect movie. Although it's been a while since I've watched that as well. All the classic ones like The Thing, Nightmare on Elm Street, 1, 2, 3. Wasn't a huge fan of Friday the 13th though. That never really clicked with me. It was fun, but I don't think it was anything really that special. Yeah, I need to watch more horror. I think more random horror. So. Del Toro did it when he was making At the Mountains of Madness adaptation. Studio meddled too much on to fuck off and stop making it. He was making it now, At the Mountains of Madness adaptation? Oh, that would have been perfect. Oh, man, I love that story. Can you imagine how good that would have been? What the hell? That would have been so good. That's such bullshit. That is such bullshit. At the Mountains of Madness is such a good short story. Okay, so we have Remains, the return of famous director Dylan Clark after the masterpiece that was Portrait of God. Let's see. What do we got? What did you guys think? I think it's still got high production value. That's undeniable. I liked the demon. I liked it when it said "Papa," like right in her ear. That was cool. But I don't know. The rest was the concept is interesting. How she hears the dead baby through the monitor. I think that's interesting. I don't know. Demon. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't find it that spooky. I don't think their delivery was, or what they did with the idea was as interesting as the other ones. So, lacking a sense, like Portrait of God. Yeah, it's like, okay, so what are we doing with this? And this one is just sort of like she gets entranced by it and then she drops it, and then it's like doesn't really do something, you know? Seems more sad and disturbing than scary. Yeah. Honestly, if you cut this and then just had her like look into it and then the demon like appears behind her, I think that would be way better. I think if you just cut this jump scare entirely. She puts it down there and then later on she turns around and then it's there. That would be cool, I think. Make the whole thing, either go all subtle or all spooky. Don't try and mix it up because it doesn't really work. Like, I like this scene. That was cool. Like, I really like that part. Then she drops it and it's like fucking miserable. Like, she just dropped her baby's urn. Like, oh, like, whoa. More disturbing if you're an expecting parent such as yourself, but those without kids might. That's true. You know, I'm missing a big part of the horror here, right? Looks like an entity from the Portrait of God. Perhaps a demon that preys on what people want to see. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting, isn't it? That's the same demon. Because it does look really similar, doesn't it? Like, if we look at him here, and let's open up Portrait of God again. It is. Wow, what the hell? What's that light theme and displays a light to her like how they did in Portrait of God? You're right. Yeah, it entrances her with the light, doesn't it? Yeah, wow, okay. Interesting. Dylan verse confirmed. No, it's the Caleb verse. Because his name's Caleb. Caleb verse. There we go. Yeah, that's an interesting idea, isn't it? It's a demon that just shows you what you want to see. But yeah, I think as a whole, it's definitely not as good as Portrait of God seems to be like the absolute peak of the channel at the moment. Demon Man seems to be a recurring entity among most of these shorts. He does show up a lot, doesn't he? Dylan likes this character. Oh, like that, and again, the acting, zero fault in the acting here. She is brilliant as like a bereaved mother, isn't she? None of the I haven't had any issues with the issues I've had with the characters hasn't been the actor's fault, that's for sure. It's more like the direction and like the script and what have you. It's not a demon and just a god of the Dylan verse. It could be God in this place, couldn't it? Just fucking with people. Experiment is always good. I'd rather him try to dip his toes in different things. That's true, yeah. I definitely don't want him just to say, well, people like Portrait of God, so I'm just going to make Portrait of God 2, and then Portrait of God 3, and then Portrait of God 4. Like, you know, it would just ruin it instantly, wouldn't it? Oh, here we go. I really love the horror universe you build. It feels less like it's full of aggressive beings and more full of traps. You can be living your life and trigger a supernatural trap, allowing an evil entity that operates on its own strict set of rules to suddenly infect your life. And where you can successfully evade it, close the trap, you figure out the rules. If you don't recognize it quickly enough, you will die. Yeah, that definitely feels like that's sort of what he's doing in his things, right? Yeah, that was nice. It was nice. Like the production value is great. But yeah, a lot of issues. I didn't feel scared, really. Other than the jump scare, I didn't feel scared. Like, I think the mark of a good horror is to make people be able to feel scared, even when it's something they have no experience with. Have you ever been chased by a serial killer around your house? Probably not. But you can still feel scared with it. You know, have you ever gotten lost camping in the woods? Most people haven't. Some people would, but most people haven't. But you can sort of appreciate that and get scared. have you ever stared into a portrait of God and then have it slowly reveal itself to you? Probably not, but this was still really spooky. And this one, I just didn't feel any sort of scare in it. Maybe that wasn't the point though, is it? I think it's supposed to be one that sort of sits with you longer rather than an immediate scare. But yeah, I don't know. Something unavoidable, like a game of false hope that's given to the main character, hoping for some reprieve or comfort, nothing comes their way, and then they're stuck with. That's a good point, yeah. It is sort of like a fake. Yeah, it is. Like he's definitely sort of a deceiver type character, isn't he? Giving hope only to take it away. Yeah. It was okay. This is a script issue this time. I don't know. How would you fix this? What could we do to improve this? I think a minor improvement would be to take out that jump scare. Would be a minor improvement. But overall, I think leaning in, and have the mother, you know how she sees the hand in here? Like she sees this? Have her see it and then totally ignore it. Like that's how much she wants her kid to be alive again, isn't it? She sees that, looks back at it, sees nothing, and then she's like, okay. And then gets the bottle and then goes back and keeps pretending. And you see her desperately trying to not see the horror that's happening. I think would be good. A bit of a different direction. I get chased by the house through a serial killer every Saturday. He calls it stab a day. Improved, she opens the basement door and the creature just stares ominously, no smile or whatsoever. You know what would be sick? If he's like looking down at it, right? And the lights are shining on its face and he's just looking into it. Like it's looking at the toy. I think that would be really cool. And then she like slowly backs away and closes the door. And then she turns around and then it's there. I think a jump scare was a really bad choice there, no matter what you were going for, to be honest. Because the rest of it's so subtle and then boom, spooky. And it's like, no. Yeah, I think this one needs some bigger changes to make it better. Everything else I really liked. You know, really good framing. This was great. This was great. And this is something that I would do a different genre thing here. So I would move more towards analog horror, where analog horror leaves shots on. A lot of films don't just stay on a shot, right? They can't help themselves. They need a new shot every second. So you'll see how it cuts. Like, leave it on there, perfect, and then cut again. That's okay. Don't know about that shot. Then cut back again. And then this whole segment, it just goes cuts. And you didn't need to do this. You didn't need to show that. I would do this. I would have it like one shot where she's like looking down at it, and then she reaches down and picks it up and brings it up. I probably wouldn't even show what's in there, to be honest. What I would do then is just have it like this. Maybe slowly pulling out, just like slowly, and then you see the demon behind her. And you just leave it on this for like a full minute where she's looking down into it and the lights are like changing colors and he's like playing with her. I would just leave that for like a full minute. No cuts. And the baby screaming on the thing going off in the background, because we already know what that is. You don't need to show it. We already know what it is. Like that for like a full minute would be fucking terrifying. Like, I don't think you needed to go like that. And then, like, you'll see his face when it's like... So when it's like that, you'll see his, like, face slowly come around. And when you start to get a glimpse of his mouth, then you cut in close to that. Because that shot is sick. That's a sick shot, where the close-up of his, like, gross mouth, like, all, like, flaky. Perfect shot. So that's what I would do. But, that being said... most horror films don't do that. They don't hang on shots because most don't. That's something that analog horror does good, is it hangs on shots more, a lot more. A lot of the time too much, but hanging on shots I think is a great way to build up tension. And then just don't release it. Don't give any release until that last second. absolutely last second is what I would have done. But I'm not criticizing him for that because that's just not what the genre usually does, so it's pretty different. Portrait God did great where it's shown watching very faintly. Yeah, that one actually, Portrait of God hung on quite a bit, didn't it? Like this one still had some cuts, but for ages it's just slowly coming and coming and coming and coming, isn't it? Like, do you need that? You don't need that. Because we can already see your hand. You don't need to do that. Let's just sit on that. Right. And it is sitting for a fair while. Do you need to do that? Maybe. Because it sets up for the later cut, the later shot where she's like staring into it. So, I don't know. I probably wouldn't, but... So, like, you can forgive, like, the cutting back and forth there because it needs to show two things at once, right? It needs to show her face and it needs to show the light as well. So that's not as bad. But this one, I think it's almost... I don't want to say it's egregious because, again, I'm coming from a different genre here, but it's like, there's too many cuts. You don't need that many. Okay, so the light is in its mouth. The light was in the urn. Perhaps it ate the baby, or was the cause of death at least. I don't think the demon has anything to do with how the baby died. I actually don't think it has anything to do with it at all. Because it's not hinted whatsoever. I think whoever said it before was right. I forgot who said that right. It seems to be that it's a demon that gives you what you want. Understandably, a mother wants her baby back, right? Demon is her regret and trauma, tormenting her over her baby's death. Could be. I think the demon is it's latching onto her desire for the child to come back. And so, in quotation marks, the crime committed here is her not letting go, is refusing to let go. Like she's eating with the baby, even though it's in the urn. She hasn't taken down the sign. She hasn't packed up any of the stuff. She's literally sitting there with the monitor still like it's in the other room sleeping. And she turns it on to eat with it. So she's refusing to admit that the baby is gone. Refusing to. And that's the crime the demon is latching onto. And it seems to be that the demon latches onto that desire. It's like, no, you want something that you can't have. And you know you can't have it. Right? And that's why Portrait of God starts with this quote. It's very clear in all... Well, I won't say all because there are a lot of fragments, right? But in all Christian mythology, is you don't see God. Nobody has seen God. In all the major ones, at least, there's probably some splinter group where that say they can see God. There's a million splinter off groups, right? But you don't see God. Like, not even the greats from history saw God. They saw angels. And so it's very clear that, and this sort of reminds you, like, you know, you're not seeing God. And she should know that, being a good Catholic schoolgirl, because her outfit is designed to invoke that feeling of being a Catholic schoolgirl, right? Even though she's obviously a bit older. Like, you know, because she's got the skirt and she's got the white school top. So she's obviously like a university student or something like that, but it's designed to invoke that idea. So she should know that. But she chooses she wants to look past the mysteries and see something that she knows she shouldn't be able to see. And the demon latches onto that idea. So the only adjustment I can see working at the end of Portrait of God might be if her tears at the end were blood, which had tons of religious meaning, but her normal tears were great. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be interesting. It seems to leave her alone when she does let go too, which adds to it. Exactly. It's like she's finally, she physically lets go, and it's also like her mentally going, no, I can't do this. And then she picks up the pieces and puts it back together, but a bit is missing. And that's the part she had to sacrifice, was the little bit that's gone. There's a part missing there. Got this right. Mother lost her baby and can't accept the loss, and now a demon is handing her. Yeah, basically. Innocent devotee defeated by her own hubris. Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly it, right? And she's envious of the people who have seen it, even though she knows she shouldn't. It's very subtle storytelling in both of these. Like, it's still excellent. Like, it's still a pretty good story. Both very subtle stories, aren't they? But I do think Remains missed the mark a bit, is the thing. If you like this video, please consider becoming a patron. Thank you all very much to the patrons who have already supported. Their names are on screen now. If you become a patron, you get access to video previews, scripts, your name in the credits, and seeing main channel videos a week earlier than public.